morning, everybody. Crafting Journey here. It's Friday. You know what that means? Friday dance. Friday dance. Everybody put your hands in the air. It's not payday, but Friday dance. Friday dance. Everybody put your hands in the air. Woohoo! That's my exercise for today. I'm pooped. Oh my God. So, how was your week? Any raccoons in your house? How many people just turned it off? How many people you think just said, "Oh no, Friday, no, we're shut. Friday dance, no, This chick's crazy." Yeah, it's been a crazy week. For sure. For sure. So, oh my God, I'm so exhausted yesterday, and I go to work because my day to be in the office, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna be able to sit and get some work done, watch the trial, talk to my girl Mickey. Well, none of that happened. I did get a lot of work done, but I get to work and I'm working on everything, and it's like 9. I'm sitting there eating my donut, and it's like 9 o'clock ish, 9:30, and my boss comes in. I'm like, oh, okay. And it was nice. We sat and we chit chatted, and we talked about the whole wreck thing, and caught up in some office. She caught me up in some of the office goings on, and but then she pronounced that she was going to be in the office most of the day, which I don't know why I had to be there. But she's like, "Oh, I'll be in and out, in and out." And she really was. She was in and out a lot and on the phone, and so, okay, I guess I needed to be there. I said, "Well, I have a 2:15 doctor's appointment." She's like, "Oh, that's okay. I'll be here." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, good," because I'm going anyway. So, um, and then, I'm thinking, oh, I can't talk to Mickey because my boss is here. And, that it's probably, she probably wouldn't care. But anyway, Mickey was, down and out with the fibromyalgia. She's got a flare up. So she really probably wouldn't have been in a very talkative mood anyway. I called her later on, and we caught up, but she's in a lot of pain. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just sit here and watch the trial while I work. Well, they put on one witness, ask him like 3 questions, trial's over. We'll cover that later. So I have nothing to listen to. Like, what? Oh, what are we going to do the rest of the day? So, I found some different videos to watch, and it's just certainly, my whole day was kind of like just weird. So then I do go to my doctor's appointment at 2:15, and this was for the knee that's still bothering me. And it's been getting better over time, but there's just this one spot, and it's not the spot that he operated on. He operated on the the joint, and he partially replaced the joint. The pain that I'm having is the IT band, which is on the top part of the knee. So he, once again, and we discussed this, said, let's go to physical therapy. And I said, well, last time you said that, you never sent the order. 3 months later, I get a call. Hey, would you like to go to physical therapy? He's like, what? How is that possible? I said, I don't know. I'm just telling you, it happened. So I said, I'm agreeable to physical therapy if, I don't have to wait for 3 months. And then we had the discussion about me getting something for pain. And he said, I'm okay with giving you tramadol. I'm like, yeah, but when I call, I get the song and dance from the girl that answers the phone. Oh, you're more than 6 weeks out from surgery. I said, this is ridiculous. I said, you already know I have one knee that was operated on that I'm having issues with. The other knee, I need a total knee replacement, and it bothers me all the time. Why are you saying, oh, you can't have that because you're 6 weeks out? I said, I am not asking you for fentanyl mixed with methamphetamine. I'm asking for freaking tramadol, which is really, in the grand scheme of things, like taking a freaking aspirin. Um, he's like, no, 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 I'll give you some tramadol. And then I thought about it last night. I was like, oh my God, I've turned into my mother. This is the way my mother would behave at a doctor's office, and I would be embarrassed. And now I'm doing it. Oh, it's terrible. Anyway, so I guess as a source of revenge, looking back on it, he's like, I'll give you a cortisone shot. I'm like, and he did offer me one last time, and I declined because it's very painful. So he says, let me give you a cortisone shot into that IT band. I'm like, okay, because it really does hurt. So, they bring in the stuff, and he gives me a shot. And oh, mother of God, did that hurt. Yeah. And I'm sure he's thinking, I got her. That'll teach her to be a bitch to me. Anyway, I'm wearing my hooded scarf. Look, guys. That's my hooded scarf. I love this scarf. Which kind of brings me to the next subject. What is going on with the weather? It's 40 degrees outside here. I am never going to use the upper limits of my temperature blanket. At least that's my feelings on that. And I know there's parts of the country where it's snowing. I mean, for God's sakes, it's April. And it's raining here today. It's like this, cold rain. Tootsie did not want to go out. Look, she's laying in front of the heater. She's so big, I don't even know if you can see her. Let me see. Hi, baby. Hi, honey. Oh, she knows. I was mad at her this morning. She made an accident on the floor. Yeah. Hi, honey. We're everybody to see you. Oh, you're a good girl. Yes, you are. He's a good girl. He's a good girl. Okay, go lay down. Oh, no, I want more love, Mom. I want more love. Oh, you are a good girl. I didn't mean to get mad at you. I didn't even yell at her or anything. I just told her that it was bad. So she just knew she wasn't supposed to do it. So this is guilt. This is guilt. Right here, guilt. Okay, go lay down. Go lay down. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl. This is the trauma that is the aftermath of me going to work physically into the office. Today is National Wear Your Pajamas to Work Today. Well, I'm going to tell you, I do have pajamas on, but I have a bra on because this is a very thin shirt. So I didn't think y'all wanted to see my boobies flopping around. Although now and then I do let you have a peek. Not today, but anyway, if you work outside of the home, this would be the day to put your PJs on. Now, not your sexy nightie, wear some flannels or, some regular pajamas, the tops and bottoms, some, fuzzy slippers, because you can't go barefoot, a robe. And the idea behind this was, typically we know that April 15th is tax day, which would have been yesterday, which is the deadline for your taxes. So a lot of people would stay up late on April 15th working on their taxes, and they would be really, really tired, and wearing their pajamas to work the next day would allow them to have a little extra sleep. But we know that they had extended the tax deadline. I don't know what the tax deadline is this year. I think this is maybe the second year in a row that they've done that. Um, Extended the tax deadline. And I'm not even positive the reasoning behind it. I always file early, so it doesn't really matter to me. I think I don't know. I try to stay away from taxes. In law school, I took a did I take a tax law class? I did take a tax law class, and I was bored out of my mind. I don't know who does tax law. In fact, well, I do know that they make, in order to be a tax attorney, you finish law school and then you go to another program. You have to continue on and get your master's, a legal master's degree to do tax law. It's that complicated. Yeah. And I'm like, oh no, no, not here. Now, what I did enjoy was securities. Um, Also very tedious, but I liked it. Maybe it was because of the teacher. I don't know. But taxes, no. No thanks. But both of them, securities and taxes, that's something that if you want to practice that kind of law, you would have had to go on and get a master's degree. Probably at, like where I was living, I would have had to go to University of Miami, which means I would be like, I'm already mired in debt from law school. I can't even imagine how much more debt I would have. Although those attorneys make lots of money, and I probably would have been able to pay off all that law school debt with what I would have made as a tax attorney or a securities attorney. But no, not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. Yesterday, when I was talking to you guys, telling you like the whole raccoon story and everything, I'm putting drills down, putting them in the wrong place. I noticed it after I stopped recording. So while I'm editing, sometimes during your editing, there's some downtime while the computer's doing its thing. I had to move these drills to the right place. I'm like, why did that happen? But I don't know, it did. It happened. All kinds of blues going on here. I'm thinking it's, if it's Alice, maybe it's part of Alice's dress. Because I am thinking it's an Alice in Wonderland painting, and it goes this, this long way, this way, the way you're seeing it there, because there's the clock. But doesn't this look like maybe part of a dress or something here? I don't know. I can't wait to finish it. I want to see what it is. I know. You're like, me too. I know. Okay, so let's do Judge, Jury, and Journey. It won't take long because the defense started out the day with indicating to the judge that Mr. Chauvin, Derek Chauvin, was not going to take the stand in his own defense. So that required that on the record there be a conversation between the defense attorney and Derek Chauvin. I don't know that it always requires this, but I'm guessing his attorney, Mr. Nelson, wanted it on the record because my understanding is they had some very heated discussions about whether or not he should take the stand. Because like I said, this guy, he's coming across as pretty arrogant to me, both, from what I've seen in the videos, his courtroom demeanor, he's very stoic. And from what I understand, and I don't know a lot about it, he also has a quote-unquote tax case pending, and they didn't want to open the door to that. So what they did in the courtroom yesterday was the two of them sat there with a microphone, and basically Nelson walked him through his rights. Now, do you understand? You have the right to not follow my advice. You have the right to, get up on the stand and tell your side of the story. And, he's like, yes, yes, yes. No, I'm not going to go on go on the stand. And then the judge turns around and has the exact same conversation with him. Are you sure? You don't have to listen to your attorney. Are you sure you're making this decision of your own accord? And yes, I am. No, I'm not going to testify. Okay. So defense rests their case. But now it's time for rebuttal witnesses. The prosecution has an opportunity to rebut anything that they heard from the defense. And one of the new things that came out during the defense's case was this issue of George Floyd having carbon monoxide, the possibility that he could have had carbon monoxide in his system as a contributing factor to his death. Not that it caused his death, but what the expert for the defense said, Dr. Fowler, was that this is something that state should have tested for, should have looked into, given his proximity to this vehicle. He did admit he didn't know if the vehicle was running or not. So the plaintiff argues, or the prosecution argues, you can tell I did civil law for a long time. I'm talking plaintiff and defendant. So the prosecution argues, we've got new evidence, Judge. We just discovered the labs for the carbon monoxide level when he gets to the ER. And the judge is like, what? I mean, like, he didn't say that, but he's like, wait a minute. Did you issue a subpoena to the hospital? Yes, we did. Well, how did you not get those records before? Well, here's what they don't understand. This is what the judge does not understand. Because he's like, we will need to investigate that hospital. They need to understand when they respond to a subpoena, we mean everything. Well, this was part of a blood gas report. And there's only certain measures that are reported out of a blood gas reading. So when you put that blood into that computer, it's running like a whole myriad of tests, all these tests. But there's only certain ones that actually print out. And that's what makes it into the medical record. But historically, that computer stores the rest of those results. And one of those was the carbon monoxide. And the symbol for this carbon monoxide is not even, me being in the medical field, I would not have recognized it. It's like F something something, So even if it had printed out, it's not something that would have caught my attention, because on a blood gas, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for his CO2, his O2, all that stuff. So the judge was like, nope, if your expert comes in here and says anything about lab results, I'm going to declare a mistrial. Wow. So, of course, I'm watching this as a live YouTube video. And, of course, the chat in the live, they're like, oh, did he declare a mistrial? Like, half these people in the chat aren't very smart. I was going to say it another way, but they're not very smart. And the moderator, she's like, no, he's not declaring a mistrial. Calm down, everybody, And it went on all day. We heard there was a mistrial. No, there's no mistrial. Because the expert did come in and, he was allowed to talk about the carbon monoxide, but he just couldn't mention those lab reports. So what he said was that, when George Floyd gets to the hospital, his O2 on the ABG is 98%. And that really had, even the chat were like, oh, 98%, he's not dead. I'm like, no. Or they thought, oh, how could he be asphyxiated if his O2 was 98%? Well, his O2 was 98% because he'd be getting chest compressions and all this medication and oxygen pumped through his blood. So, but I mean, he already had brain damage. You can't reverse the brain damage by increasing the oxygen level. Once the damage has occurred, it's occurred. Um, but when he gets to the hospital, clearly he's already had the brain damage. That occurred on the scene. Um, so they do a blood gas. It does come back 98% on the oxygen, but probably what they're looking for on the blood gas were more of the levels of, is he acidotic? Do we have to give him bicarb? What that other things than just that O2 reading, because that O2 reading is really meaningless. But what this pulmonologist came back to for the prosecution and said, since it was 98%, the the largest concentration possible would be 2% for carbon monoxide. It can only be the balance of the oxygen deficit, which was 2%. And in order for it to have been toxic, it would have had to been 10 to 12%. So that kind of shut the door on carbon monoxide, um, it was just such a silly argument to begin with. I think the defense did not do themselves any favor by having their expert bring up such a silly notion. Um, I venture to say that what the defense was attempting to do with their expert is confuse the jury. And I hope that the jury was smarter than that they could see through that. Anyway, so the judge says to the jury, okay, that is the conclusion of the evidence. As I told you before, I'm not going to keep you here to deliberate over the weekend, because he had already told them that. He didn't want to do that to them. So he was sending them home for an early weekend, so they would have had the rest of Wednesday, all day Thursday, all day Friday, but come back on Monday with your bags packed. Prepare for the long haul. He says, hopefully this will be short. It might not be. He says, we'll hope for short, but prepare for the long. Pack appropriately, I guess. Because they're going to be sequestered. So he sent them home. And then what happens in the trial at this point is the judge and the prosecution and the defense attorney will do what they call, it's a charge conference, where they go over what jury instructions they want to give to the jurors. Now, the defense and the plaintiff will both submit their proposed jury instructions, and they can argue over the ones that they do not agree upon. And the judge will look at all of them and say, okay, he'll make a ruling. Yes, I'm going to give this one. No, I'm not going to give this one. And it's all on the record. But in this case, he said, I'm going to do this in chambers. No, it will not be broadcast. I'm like, oh, what am I going to do the rest of the day? Although that's a very boring part of the trial. It really is. So they did come back on live about 4 o'clock, and I wasn't sure why. They were on the record, and they were still arguing jury instructions. It was about the instruction of whether to give the instruction that he acted in concert with Officers Lang and King. And whether that instruction should be given one time at the beginning or after every charge. So I didn't understand it. I'm not a criminal lawyer, so I basically shut it off and went on to bigger and better things. So here's the deal, guys. So what I'm going to do, here's my plan. Monday is closing arguments. So I'll be able to cover closing arguments for you on Tuesday. Um, and then, so Monday the juries will start deliberating. So when they come back with a verdict, and I don't know if you guys were following the Prokopovich trial with me, but when the jury came back with a verdict, I went live. I shared my screen, and you were able to see the reading of the verdict. So I would like to do that in this case. So when we know that we have a verdict, um, I will go live. I will share my screen so that all of us can listen to the reading of the verdict together. And what happens after that? Whoa, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Um, One of the things the judge did mention, sometimes when the jury is deliberating, they'll call everybody back into the courtroom because, um, the judge always tells everybody involved in the case, they're deliberating, don't go too far away, because I want you, they'll tell you to stay within, 10 minutes of the courthouse or 15 minutes so that you can get back here. Everybody give your phone numbers to the clerk. She'll call everybody. She'll get them back there. And this is usually done, sometimes it's a jury question. You never know why you're being called back into that courtroom. It could be a verdict. It could be a question. It could be them saying we can't make a decision. So how the judge said he was going to handle questions is by doing Zoom. He says, I don't want you guys having to go back and forth into this courthouse. That courthouse right now is a mess. It looks like a prison. There's like all this barbed wire and, everything boarded up, and there's security, and like getting in and out of this place is a nightmare. So he says, rather than do that, I'm only going to call you back for a verdict. Everything else, we're going to do it Zoom. So I don't know if that means it will include the media. The jurors will be in one room by Zoom. The attorneys and the defendant and everybody else will be in another location by Zoom. You guys have been to Zoom meetings, I hope, or your kids are involved in Zoom meetings. So you probably kind of know how that works. So that's how they're going to handle that. So the other thing I was looking at this morning is what kind of trial would you guys like me to cover next? And one of the trials that I came across, now this is, it was covered live, but it's in the library of, it's one of the playlists on this Law and Crime Network. And I could cover it as if, I'm watching it live. So it's a case of this woman, MacArthur. She is a crime scene investigator, and she is on the trial for the murder of her best friend, who was a private detective, a former police officer and private detective. So how interesting would that be? I mean, let me know if you're interested in that. The other one that I found was a guy that's on trial for murdering 5 people that he had been partying with all night, and there was some undertones of, well, not just undertones, there was some overt, it had to do with them calling him gay, and they were all gay, and I guess he didn't believe he was gay, and he had just participated in these sexual acts with these people, and I don't know, let me know if you want me to cover that trial. And the other trial that I had considered was the death of a Florida State University law professor. That one was, he was killed in his driveway. These 2 men came up and shot him in his driveway through the car window. Now, I remember this from a podcast that I listened to probably about a year ago. And the story behind it is fascinating. It was a murder for hire. And this was the trial of the actual murderers, but I don't know if the people that hired him were ever charged, or if they could ever prove the case against the people that hired him, or if they could figure out who hired him. Because from what I remember of the podcasts, it just couldn't be proven who hired these people. But anyway, let me know which one you guys would like me to cover. I'll put it as a community post for those three cases: FSU law professor, the crime scene investigator, or the murder of, after partying all night of 5 people. So let me know. And I did, when I went through the playlist, I was very careful to eliminate anything that had to do with children, because there were some in there and I just didn't think we wanted to go that route. So let the true crime continue. Now, the next major case that I will cover for you, live, will be the Chad and Lori Daybell case. Those are the 2 people that were in this weird religious cult that believe, they met in previous lives, and they were married in 7 previous lives. Just a strange case where her 2 children disappeared. And they go on a honeymoon and nobody knows where the kids are. For months and months and months, people are saying, where are the kids? Where are the kids? Where are the kids? And they finally do find the kids. So that's going to be a super interesting case. I believe it's scheduled for later this year. There's no specific trial date, but later this year. And then later this year, we'll have the trial of the other 3 police officers in the George Floyd case. So that's Judge, Jury, and Journey today. I hope you guys are enjoying this segment. I really love bringing it to you. I really do. Oh, friend mail yesterday. Guys, I got friend mail. Another crochet book. I would be so happy if all I could do all day long is crochet. I love to crochet. Let me just say that again. I love to crochet. This is crocheted. And I already started one of these hats. So I'm not going to do a complete flip through, but I'll show you the hat. These are 25 fresh takes on classic crocheted hat designs by Rachel Oglesby. In the description of this video, I will put a link to where you can get this. It's on Amazon. It's available. I don't know what the retail price is. Oh, it says $17.95. But this was a gift to me by Nareda, and bless her heart, I just love her. So here's the one I started. Of course, this one right here. Yes. This is called the knotted hat, open mesh hat, perfect for those in-between seasons, because if this is an in-between season, if nothing else. Here's another picture of it. It's an easy pattern, and like I said, I have started it. I just like the little bow that's on the side there. I always love a hat that has a little bit of a twist and turn to it. The other one that I was particularly interested in, I like this cinched cap, again with a bow on the side of it. That might be one I do soon. There's a bucket hat, but it has like this strange top to it. Like, I don't care for, see how that top is kind of weird? Like here. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that. I don't know. But I like the idea of a bucket hat. Now this next one, granny square beanie. This beanie is made out of the little, look at the granny squares in the band. That is a definite, that's a must make for me. So I think that was all the ones I just wanted to show you real quick. But like here's, look at these couple of hats here with the granny squares. I love that. And I've already got in mind like some yarn I might want to use for that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'll just be crocheting. Okay, yeah, there was one more I wanted to show you. I love this book. Oh my gosh. I love all my books. This one, oh my God, it's a cabled beanie. Look how cool that is. Cabled beanie. So there's some fabulous, here's another picture of it. The cabled beanie. Oh my God, that is so cool. Anyway, I'll put this in the description. Yes, I'll be crocheting my little heart out. Uh, Still working on my temperature stuff. Yes, I have more projects than time. Let's put it that way. All right, before we run off for the morning, let's do this day in history. It's kind of on a sad note that I am going to end the show, which, that's not nice of me. But in 2007, on this day, on the Virginia Tech campus, 32 people died after being gunned down. This man, Cho, he goes in to a dorm and he shoots this woman and man. And then he leaves the scene. So police are called and they're investigating and they think it's kind of like a domestic thing. Maybe they're looking at her ex-boyfriend thinking, this is not any big deal. But 2.5 hours later, the same guy goes into a classroom or a building, the classroom building with classrooms. I can't articulate well today. Barricades himself in there, like locks the doors and goes from classroom to classroom shooting people. 5 professors, 27 students. Now, it's not a topic I like to bring up a lot, but given, what happened early this morning or late last night, where another mass shooting, I feel like I turned the TV on, like my heart is breaking to even talk about it. I feel like I turned the TV on and there's another mass shooting. Like we're becoming numb to it, mind numb to it. Someone walked into a FedEx building and killed 9 people. Maybe I got that wrong. Maybe, yes, I know. My prescription is ready. I get it. 9 people. Here's what I want to say. When is Congress going to do something about mental health and gun control? Why are people being allowed to carry weapons? Why do we need guns? I'm sorry. If you're a hunter, bless your heart. But this is not the type of weapon we're talking about. These aren't the type of weapons they're using. They're not using hunting rifles to go in and kill people. They're using assault weapons and regular guns. Why do you need a gun? Why, people? Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to say about it. I feel, would I have shot the raccoon? No. I don't feel a need for a gun. Where's your compassion for other human beings? Why do you need a gun? Except if you're mentally unbalanced. And then you need to be, in therapy and on some medication. Like, we need to get these people help. Oh, for God's sakes. I know. He had a history of mental health problems. And in 2011, Virginia Tech was fined by the U.S. Department of Education for failing to issue a prompt campus-wide warning after Cho shot his first 2 victims. Because like I said, there were 2.5 hours went between the first 2 victims and the other victims, the other 30 victims. And during that time, this Cho guy, he goes and mails the police letters, with pictures of himself and photos of, him wielding guns in this rambling video in which he ranted about wealthy brats among other topics. And yeah, anyway, so I will be on Mickey Sunshine Live tonight at 7 p.m. Central. Now, I know she's not feeling better, but we're going to roll her out of bed. Yes, we're going to roll her out of the bed, prop her up next to her diamond painting. We're going to go live. I'll be there with her to help her out. But we're going to talk about the mystery diamond painting. So if you're working on a mystery diamond painting, or you're interested in participating in the next event, please show up because I'm going to make a special announcement. Tonight, 7 p.m. Central, Mickey Sunshine Creates in her live. And if she decides that she cannot go live, because of her pain syndrome, then I'll do it for her. But she's adamant that she's going to do it. So I hope she wakes up today. She's feeling so much better, and that we all get to be together tonight. And then right after that is DP Addiction Adventures, my favorite gal. Love her. I don't know what she's got in store for us, but it's always funny. Anyway, I will have a great weekend. I'll see you tomorrow in the Saturday edition, or come say hi to me tonight in the live. Please post your mystery diamond painting progress so I can show it off tonight. Take care, everybody. Love you. Bye.